Hi, this is Kendra Moyer with the Wayne State University chapter of the NDSA, reporting on organizing and archiving digital born photos. The research we looked into included a basic workshop on organizing digital photos, the Smithsonian Institute's recommendations on best practices, the Library of Congress's tips for preserving digital photographs. And there were some concurrent themes that ran through each of these bits of research. The workshop kind of got into the basics of gathering images, taking inventory, creating backups, establishing a core file structure, then distributing files into folders and extracting duplicates, as well as renaming files while adding the metadata tags, and finally creating a maintenance schedule. The Smithsonian Institute dives a little deeper into the strategy, taking a look at the stabilization process, which is centralizing each of these images and making sure that they're preserved in their original format. The ingestion process is creating the actual archive and renaming each of the images with a unique name that will be unique to the archive, and amongst other actions. And then there's a blend of strategies that include looking at the image from the bit level preservation perspective, making sure that it can be recreated from its original format, regardless of equipment and formats becoming obsolete. Can we get back to that point? And oftentimes that is dependent on the types of migration that are used from one system to the next. As we migrate, are we making sure that we have some sort of system that can revert back to prior versions of the image? And then finally, there's emulation, which gets deeper into this, which is actually maintaining certain equipment so that some images can be preserved in their original format in digital formats, since many digital forms, since many of these images can go back 10, 15, 20 years. The Library of Congress has an article by Butch Lazarchak, who basically makes this very easy for the layperson with too many photos, which is to identify, decide, organize, and then make copies of your images. This is very short and straight and to the point. And so from this and some other articles, we were able to create a tool for digital photography archiving, which incorporates some of the best practices that can be used to train and educate families, lay people, or people who are kind of new to using different formats and whatnot. So basically, it has you identify all the locations of the images, decide which the groups, how they will be grouped, who will have access, organizing a specific file system and naming each files, giving them a unique name and a tiered system with folders ideally, saving the formats .tif for long-term and .jpeg for short-term, and storing on both an external hard drive and cloud storage. Ideally, you want to have up to 4 copies of your images, but that's up to the curator. Finally, you want to establish a schedule where you can go back and look over, whether or not this or that should be weeded out of the collection. This tool is useful for people who just want a quick page to take a look at. If they want to get together with family members, they can pass along a link or URL. And we thought that the research really was useful for helping us to identify the best steps for digital photography archiving. So thank you again for listening. And that is all for today.